It's gonna be a short episode. Who knows?
I might fall asleep, dude.
No. Let's just
Say ho. Yeah, you. Bom, 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 bom.
hello everybody. I'm Dr. Nick. Simpsons reference for you.
Yeah, I know.
Oops, you didn't say anything.
Because it was a terrible impression.
Oh, come on. It wasn't too bad. Actually, it was bad.
It was very bad. You were just talking normally.
Oh, yeah, because you know what it was? I started with the hello, everybody, and then I was like, oh, I could say I'm Dr. Nick from The Simpsons. So, yes, you're right. You won. A horrible impression.
Yeah.
You do it.
That was one of my...
That was one. That's what the thing.
Hi, everybody.
That was the thing you did.
Hi, everybody.
If my name was Nick, I would also do that all the time.
I'm Doc. Yeah, I gotta something like that. My joke was growing up. My joke was my only ambition to become a doctor is so I can
Do that.
walk into a room and say that. Yeah,
You
I just couldn't deal. I couldn't deal with the blood.
Well,
I can't deal with the.
You probably would have been as a bad doctor too.
Yeah, isn't that like part of his character?
Yeah.
He's like an awful doctor. Yeah.
And then when people blame you for being a bad doctor, it's like I'm just doing a bit. I'm doing.
I play the long game.
Yeah. So you can't really be at fault because you're doing a bit. Oh man,
I like that.
Let's see.
Yeah, it's part of my insurance.
It's okay,
It's a
guys.
bit.
He's doing a bit.
It's a bit.
Let's see. I'm putting my closing thoughts real quick.
Everybody dance now. Boom. Can you hear Lucia?
A little bit, yeah. It's fine.
Shit.
You
Damn,
know,
dude.
Babies.
Also,
man.
hey, you know what I'll do? I'll ask her to be quiet.
If she obliges, you got a smart one.
Yeah,
on
no,
your
she's like, oh, I'm sorry.
You're doing your podcast.
I'm sorry, Dada.
Yeah. You're doing your podcast. I'm sorry, I didn't know that was that time.
She says, might be.
Subscribe,
Yeah.
like, and subscribe. All right, you ready?
How long is
That
this gonna be?
wasn't,
No.
it's-
All right, let's go.
It's probably gonna be like 35 minutes. It's gonna be a short one, guys.
Let's go. You're a short one.
Lies. I'm 6'4".
What?
All right, you ready? That is not cocaine.
I do cocaine.
I'm Roxo.
Yeah, that's how I say I'm ready now.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'll do the Roxo I do cocaine line.
No, you didn't tell me that. I didn't know that was your thing now. Yeah, this is what happens to us when we don't record for a while. All right, everybody. Whoever is tuning in right now, I don't know who's tuning in on Twitch because I can't see Twitch chat or whoever is on YouTube that I can see if you message. So welcome. We're back. We're gonna be doing episode 99 of Pressing Buttons. We're about to start. What's that look?
I'm good.
Oh, okay. You just had a look.
I just look weird, dude. Just stop. Just mind your business.
Stop making people look at you.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go.
Do you know how to start up a podcast these days?
We'll see if I remember. All right. And we are going in 3. Actually, do I start 5?
I got to remember my name.
I'm already fucking up. In 5, 4. Hello, and welcome to Pressing Buttons. I'm Hugo.
I'm Nick.
Another great week, another great episode coming at you. We're back from hiatus, is what we like to say.
I was gonna say, first of all, can we even say another great week anymore? And then
Yeah.
also, how many? This is like hiatus number 3, maybe. I don't know.
You know, the weeks
Who's counting?
the weeks have been great. We just haven't been here to
Yeah.
say it. But we are back, episode 99. Double nine, 99. I don't know why I said that so many ways.
Do you even know Spanish? Or
Well, sometimes. When I drink, it comes more fluently. No, I know Spanish. I know how to read, write, and speak it. Whatever. Don't question me. But yeah, we're back. Glad to be here. I know it's been a while, but we've been busy lives, But we thank you for your support, everybody who's been asking. We're probably going to be busy again, just so you know. Shit happens, life happens, but we want to try and get on here and do the episodes when we can, especially because we're reaching such a high milestone. Episode 100 is just around the corner. We are going to be having a giveaway, we do giveaways sometimes for those that tune in.
Madden.
Yeah, that didn't know.
Madden 2022.
Shout outs to Snarf. He won that Prestige edition or whatever it was of Madden. And this one, I know a lot of people in our Discord will be very happy about. So just a heads up. During the next filming of episode 100, whenever that is, hopefully it's next week, TBD. During the release of episode 100, we will be doing a contest, so pay attention for next week's. Well, pay attention to this episode, but for the next episode 100, pay attention. We'll give you the details, but what we will be giving away is going to be, this is because we're a big, mostly Destiny community on Discord. We want to be a big community of everything, but we have a lot of people that do play Destiny. With the release of the final shape next month, June 4th. We're going to be giving away the new expansion, the final shape, along with the first year DLC, which is like 3 episodes, aka seasons or whatever they're calling it. So stay tuned for episode 100. Make sure you tune in so you can find out how to win that, how to enter into a contest to win that. We only have one, can't give away too many. We're not made of money. We do this for free. So pay attention to next week's episode 100, and we'll give you the details on how to enter to win Destiny 2, the final shape, along with the first year episodes. So we're happy to be doing that. We're not going to let it go to waste. We're not going to give it to Nick because we know he will not be playing it.
I was gonna say, can I win it?
That was my plan. My plan was to give it to you so you will be forced to play it because you're like, I'm not spending $40 on it. And I was like, ooh, but if I give you the...
I told you if someone paid for my game, I would play it for at least one night.
Yeah, but there's the loss. You would only play it for one night. I was like, if we give it to one of our loyal viewers and listeners...
At least one night. Like, so there's a world where the game is so good that I play it forever. I was saying at least one night, not only one night.
I don't believe that. You don't believe that.
I believe that. I made it up. Of course I believe it.
I don't believe it. But, maybe you'll see us enjoying it, and then you will join as well, and with your own money.
No, definitely not.
God knows we've wasted money on way more idiotic stuff. Suicide Squad in my case. Uncharted in your case, and other stuff.
All Naughty Dog games.
All Naughty Dog games. But yeah, so tune in for that episode 100. We'll have the details on how you can win that Destiny stuff. And let's get it on. Let's get the episode 99 started. We want to start off with the announcement that PlayStation announced dual CEOs. We have Herman Holtz and Hideaki Nishino. They are named co-CEOs as soon as Jim Ryan departs June 1st. Holtz will be the CEO of of SIE's Studio Business Group, and Nishino will be the CEO of SIE's Platform Business Group. Not to be confused with each other because they both sound the same to me. But Nick knows the logistics. I don't know too much about it. They will both report to Hiroki Totoki, who is the chairman of SIE, Sony Interactive Entertainment. Big shakeup. Obviously, we've been hearing a lot about Herman Holtz. He was one of the names kind of floated down just because he has been in charge of the first party aspect of SIE for a while now, especially after getting promoted from Guerrilla Studios and everything that they've done with Killzone and Horizon Horizon Zero. What's the name of that? Horizon Zero Dawn? Is it the franchise? I'm already...
Yeah, I mean, you played the game, so...
Yeah, I played the game, and that's how much it kind of just left my brain. No offense to them. The game looked good. It just kind of didn't leave an impression on me. But this is definitely a big move. Obviously, with Jim Ryan departing, the way that he started his tenure as the CEO, definitely very impactful. I feel like it pushed PlayStation forward in a sense of them being super competitive and just being the right place. But the end obviously has been very tumultuous with the push for live service games, a lot of stuff getting canceled, layoffs and all that stuff. So, best way to leave is when the ship is sinking, kind of thing. Not that the ship is sinking, but there's some holes in the ship and there's some water getting
PlayStation's definitely at an inflection point. I think the broader game industry is, but yeah, I think if Jim left a year ago, that would have been like
one of the best.
Leave it on top. Yeah, even though I think a lot of people have kind of mixed opinions of his tenure. When you look at the results, like the financial results and things like that, like he's got like a pretty good track record. But I think a lot of the fanboys or whatever maybe don't have such a rosy opinion of him. But yeah, leaving now, and I think they announced his departure like at the end of last year. So it's just been like since the time they announced his departure to when he actually leaves, like a lot of shit has gone down. But either way, so he's out, and I think we were speculating who would replace him. I don't remember exactly what I said, but I'm not surprised Herman Holst is in the mix. I think I am surprised. I am surprised it's a co-CEO model. That rarely works, based on my actual experience, and then just you don't really see that model elsewhere. So not to say that it's like definitely not going to work, but I think that model might have some complications. I haven't looked at it that closely, but my understanding is I think Herman's basically getting... I mean, he was already leading first-party studios, so I think maybe there's some other stuff that gets under his... that gets like rescoped under his purview, but he's effectively looking at games development, and then the other guy is more of like a CTO type person, and it's basically all the technology. So the hardware and cloud services and all that stuff. So I think that that kind of makes sense that you would want to have two senior people. Sorry, not just guys, but senior people looking over those two areas. But yeah, the co-CEO model is a little tricky. And it's not surprising to me. So the Hiroki Totoki, or I think did I get it right? I can't.
Yeah. The
that's a great. First of all, that's a great name. Love the name, but he's made a bunch of public statements about how seemingly like nobody at PlayStation knows how to run a business, and they don't understand like key drivers of growth. And so to me, it's not surprising that the creative, sort of like there's the technology side, or the platform technology side, and then like the studio's creative side, and Herman's leading that. It's not surprising that they would put him there because his background, I think he was like he was like some sort of consultant for like a business consultant for a long time before founding. I think he was he the founder or a co-founder for Gorilla? I can't remember, but
Herman Holt, I don't know off the top of my head. I'm
but either
guessing
way, he
was
was
a
like
co-founder.
senior guy at Gorilla. So it's not surprising to me that that Satoki would pick a, probably like the more like business savvy out of the studio leads to be the guy. So, and that's probably why he was in the first party role to begin with. But yeah, we'll see how that model works. And I think it took a while. It's like kind of funny how long it took for them to, like, you think it would take this long to make this announcement if they were hiring someone externally. Maybe they wanted to go through that process of like seeing if they could actually find someone, and then this was like their default option, just to promote internally. But you think they could have done this a while ago, right?
Well, it's a bit of what you mentioned, where it's like the creative side and the business side, and obviously, in this day and age, with how much production costs on video games and all that stuff, the business side is like, oh, we can't really spend that much money. Whereas the creative side is like, well, we need this money to be able to have our vision done. So I think, like you said, we had kind of discussed it before, especially when I think when he was made the head of the first party studios, that he was kind of being next in line, and you definitely believe that they were gonna make him the CEO. Where I was like, I wasn't for it. Not that I didn't think they weren't gonna make it, but I just think his whole resume kind of didn't impress me of just leading Guerrilla Studios. So that whole thing, I think maybe that's why it kind of took so long, because they were probably looking for one person, but his background maybe wasn't enough to kind of just push him into just be the CEO, and that's why they had to settle with a dual CEO thing, where one focuses on, like you said, Herman's going to focus on the first party studios. They have such a strong first party studios with high level inputs, high level games, that they want to keep that, and then have the other guy, Hideaki Nishino, focus on the technological side, which has been kind of the one that has been lacking with the PlayStation VR, and how kind of that was a bit of a flop, and then other stuff that they could be kind of maximizing. I know they were impressed by how well the PlayStation Portal did, and the PlayStation 5, even though it didn't hit their target sales, I think by 4 million, it still did a great amount. So I think that's ultimately why you do have this dual CEO thing, and why it took so long, I think, in my opinion, because they didn't know if they wanted to go internally, or if they wanted to just blow up the whole thing and kind of bring somebody new. But you also have that risk of, you bring somebody externally that doesn't kind of know how everything works, it'll fuck it up, especially with everything that we see these days with all these other studios and companies and what they're doing. Definitely you want to take your time with this, because it's going to be a tumultuous year. I think it's going to be a bit crazy. Honestly, especially thinking back on the end of last year and how many great games we had. We didn't expect this year. Well, actually, you did, because you called it that there were definitely going to be way more layoffs coming. And
one of these days, I want to go back and count how many predictions.
Yeah.
After over 100 episodes, I feel like there was enough track record of being right all the time.
I will say it's a little bit of me being an optimist of like, no, we couldn't have more layoffs, but the reality is like, yes. Yes, we will have more layoffs. I wish I could just do that. Be like, no more layoffs, and then they stop. One thing before we move on to the next, I did want to ask you, in terms of legacy, do you think Jim Ryan's legacy is kind of like you said, you have internet fanboys and all that stuff that kind of hate him or don't have anything good to say about him, but how do you think his legacy is affected, especially like I was saying earlier? I feel like he started so strong, but then with the push towards the end of his career, the end of his tenure, into pushing live service games, which is what a lot of the industry is doing, just not doing correctly, and a lot of cancellations. How do you think that affects it? Do you think it'll be looked upon good down the road, or what are your opinions on that?
I mean, I don't think people really care. Like, I think, but I guess to like actually answer your question, I think he was at PlayStation so long, and I think he had so many like positive like generations, like one, that I think people would probably look at it more holistically as opposed to like, ah, wow, you really fucked it up at the end there with all that live service stuff. So it kind of depends on who you're asking. Like, again, if it's like someone, if it's like a PlayStation first party fanboy, they're going to be like, I hate Jim Ryan. And it doesn't matter whether it's a holistic view of his career or if it's just like the last 6 months. Like, but if you ask someone who's more like maybe, commercial savvy and understands the market and cares about like the competition and all that stuff, like they might be a bit more forgiving about kind of the tail end of his career. So, but yeah, I don't know who's your favorite head of PlayStation.
It's Kaz. Kaz Hirai.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was just so joyful because I'm joyful, and he has that meme where he's like, or something.
Ridge Racer.
Yeah,
Ridge Racer.
Who's your favorite?
Wasn't he at the helm of PS3? So
Yeah.
like one of the worst performers
In the beginning, but then it worked out, and onto PS4. Well, then
yeah, I think he helped get PS4 out, right? And then stuff. Okay.
And which we could definitely get into, but we won't because that would make this like a very, very long episode. The PS3, I think, was a successful machine. It just, the beginning of it was not marketed well. It cost too much, but towards the end, it kind of solidified, and that's why I think the PlayStation 4 had such a strong early start against the Xbox, whatever the one, whatever they called it at that point. The
Xbox branding is just such.
I don't know which one it was. The one, the X. I don't know which one we're on right now.
Who knows?
I don't have an Xbox. If somebody wants to send me a free Xbox, so I could know which generation we're in, that'd be good. But they're not even selling them anyway. So, but yeah, who was your favorite?
I'm gonna have to say, I think it was a brief tenure, but probably Sean Layden.
Sean Layden was good. I don't know why his tenure was so brief, but I think he definitely also pushed the PS4.
He's nailed he's gotten everything correct.
Oh yeah.
He was basically like, here's everything, here's like all the pain the industry is feeling now. He was basically saying that's going to happen like 2 years ago at least, if not longer.
Yeah.
So I think I'm sure there was just like a big, I don't know if it was like power struggle or different kind of philosophies around like the future of video games, but I think I can't remember the exact details, but I'm sure he just left or he got pushed out because of those point of views. But at the same time, like, he was right.
Yeah, it worked out. He's happy somewhere. I see his comments every now and then pop up on my Twitter feed of like, comments he makes about how the industry is right now and all that stuff. And I think you are right that he was Nostradamus, much like you, predicting stuff. People just weren't listening, like me.
It's kind of crazy that he's leading the company and is still getting a lot of resistance, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Drop us in the comments. Tell us who your favorite Sony CEO is.
But he was also just very, very articulate. Good speaker. I think wasn't he an actual developer too? I think back in the day, yeah. So I think, that's kind of interesting. So I don't know if he's like at the level of game dev as like Iwata, but I think he did some of that stuff too.
Well, that's where it comes into where I know a lot of it is the business, but you do want to have kind of that background of somebody that was a developer or knows how it works to kind of move up in the corporate ladder, so they know what the bottom floor is doing, kind of thing. But yeah, hopefully this works out. It's definitely interesting. We probably won't see any ramifications or anything like that, what their big major moves will be for at least another year or two. But very interesting year. They are set up to have something towards the end of this month. We'll keep our eye on it. We have been itching for some PlayStation news. Obviously, it has been kind of a down year with a lot of layoffs and stuff like that, and no announcements and no showcases really showing anything past, I believe, the summer. So yeah, I'm excited to see what the future holds for these guys. All right, moving on, we will be talking about Square Enix plan to aggressively pursue multi-platform game releases. So after a big kind of not corporate shakeup, but just business strategy shakeup, Square Enix has decided to kind of forego their console exclusivity, which they mostly hold with PlayStation, and try to release more of their titles multi-platform. They're going after Nintendo, obviously, Microsoft, PlayStation, and PC. They want their titles to reach a wider audience. They were not happy with the performance of Final Fantasy Rebirth, Final Fantasy 16, and Womp Womp Foam Stars. I wasn't happy either. No, but just because of that, they decided to have their titles reach a more wider audience. Obviously, the exclusivity does hurt the bottom line when you're kind of cutting your what's the word I'm looking for? You're cutting your market or target by a big amount. They also announced a bunch of layoffs. Stock is down 15%. Kind of big moves. We do know, obviously, we love Square Enix. We played a lot of Square Enix games. In the last, I would say, 10 years, they've always been kind of exclusively on PlayStation. But the rising cost for development definitely signals why this is a major move. What are your thoughts on this, you being such a business-minded person? Obviously, it does look, it's the better choice to have your games reach a wider platform and more people. But is it a little bit too late? Do you think they should have been done this a while ago?
Yeah, they should have been doing it a while ago. Capcom, they're, I can't remember the exact numbers, but I think they also just did an earnings report, and it's like absolutely crushing it. I think, I'm sure they still have some exclusives here and there, but like broadly speaking, they're, just focusing on making great games and making them as widely available as possible. So yeah, I think you're going to see third parties, like that. To me, like that's the model. It's the only reason you would do an exclusive is if a platform is writing you a check that's bigger than what you would earn by releasing on other platforms. And I think for a long time, I think that was, probably happening. It's kind of nice if you're a publisher and you just get like one giant upfront check that like covers that opportunity cost, and there's more predictability in it and all that fun stuff. I think it's just too big. The opportunity of multi-platform is now just like too big. I think PC gaming and mobile are a big ingredient to that. So, and I think even with the platforms themselves starting to entertain multi-platform releases, like I think they're also increasingly like they're not going to want to spend a ton of money for exclusives. So I think Square Enix is probably just getting ahead of that as well. So not that it just makes economic sense for them to be multi-platform, but also I think getting giant checks from platforms is going to become more rare. So yeah, I think that'll make sense. It then kind of begs the question of if no console has exclusives, then like what is the point of all of this?
Well, Xbox is gonna have exclusives. That's why they bought all those studios.
Yeah, I guess that's our next agenda point, yeah. Right? So, but I think that they're, not I don't think it's every title, but like they're also going to be releasing. They just did it with Hi-Fi Rush, right? So, they're making more of their games multi-platform. So yeah, so I just kind of thought about that. Like, I think that's going to become more of the trend of everyone wanting to be multi-platform, whether you're a publisher or a platform. And then if you like think forward 10 to 20 years, it's like what dictates whether you're a PlayStation user or an Xbox user. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. Do you feel a little bit of sadness? I mean, this is a weird way to put it, but you know, well,
No, I'm not a. I play all systems, so.
well, I don't mean for the exclusiveness part of it, but just for now, the shift in focus into AAA titles. So obviously, you got the major ones like Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy, anything like that. Like those big major titles, yeah, they're pushing forward that. But anything that felt indie or lower scale, kind of, like something like Octopath Traveler, Field Chronicles. It's always good when a title like that gets released and it does well because it's a smaller title. You don't have this whole big epic production value and all that stuff. But that means there's less opportunity for that creativity and those titles to be out there, where you're going to be relying on more indie studios to kind of pick up the slack because these big developers, the big publishers just want to do crazy $200 million games. Do you think the market is just gonna be blockbusters all the time that flop, or do you think there's still room for these lower cost games?
Yeah, I think it'll be. I think what they're doing is balancing things. I think they had, and there was like one specific period. I think it was like a year or so, where like they just released so many titles, and like they just like immediately got forgotten.
Listen,
Like,
they should have just had me like Chocobo Racing. No, Foam Stars. No, like
Yeah,
I could have known those and they would have been fine.
so I don't think they'll walk away from. I don't think they'll like completely walk away from more like small to mid level budget titles. I think they'll just be smarter around doing them. Because I think there's value in doing that type of stuff to have more of like a diversified portfolio. I think that was one part of your question was, I don't think it's, one big swing every 4 years like that. That's not like what they're going to chase. I think they just like leaned in too much on these lower budget titles that just like didn't gain a lot of traction. So I don't know. So I think they'll just kind of reel that in, and also being multi-platform would be big. Like I think being PS4 only for remake, Final Fantasy VII remake, and then being PS5 only for Rebirth, like that explains. There's all this like underperformance, and it's like, well, yeah, like PS5, the user base isn't what the PS4 was, and then also if you just had that on PC from day one,
Nick would have been happy.
Yeah. I'm happy with the performance on PS5, but it would probably be a little better if they actually like made an effort for it to be a day one PC title, not what they did with Remake, which was a year later in Epic Game Store, and it was like basically unplayable. But yeah, no sadness. I just need to make sure that the Dragon Quest HD 2D HD titles don't get axed, because that would be genuinely upsetting. But
yeah, just keep pumping those.
As long
go ahead.
You go ahead.
I was gonna say, why do these companies like never realize that nostalgia sells? Just sell me the old shit again, and I'll still buy it. Sell me old Final Fantasy just with a new skin, I'll still buy it. Sell me Dragon Quest, I'll still buy it. Nintendo, sell me Donkey Kong, I'll still buy it. Just sell me old shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if some of those resources get. I think they did make a comment about like leveraging their catalog, like their back catalog, and making those titles reintroducing those titles to a broader audience. So maybe that's where you'll see some of the, whether it's like actual development talent or just like the money that was previously spent on those like kind of smaller budget titles, like those get shifted to yeah, like I think the stuff that people actually want, like before we started recording, we're talking about Vagrant Story, which I don't think is on any list to get any treatment anytime soon, but like Xenogears just, and I know there's like versions that you can play like on Steam for like Final Fantasy or whatever, but I think they could take another crack at a pretty large number of titles and just like fresh coat of paint, just upres the graphics, quality of life improvements. And they've been doing that, but I think there's just so much more they can be doing.
See, this is why I'm annoying. You put me in the right room with the right person, I'll annoy the shit out of them into putting Vagrant Story, the HD remake, out there. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if I will be that annoying, but yeah. Don't know. Oh, there goes Louis. Is that Louis?
Yeah, it's Louis, yeah.
Louis saying hello for those watching on video. Little Louis. That moves on to our next segment. We want to talk about Microsoft. Obviously, with everything going on in the news, a lot of layoffs, and this time was a big doozy. Microsoft announced that they were closing a couple studios. They had Arcane Austin, which did Redfall, as well as Prey. Tango Gameworks, who did Hi-Fi Rush, as well as Tokyo Ghostwire, and fuck, I just forget the name. What was the Evil Within?
The Evil Within.
Evil Within. Oh, my God. And I actually
what was that? What was the?
And
I
actually like that one, and I streamed it. I like both of them. Previously, Tango Gameworks was headed by Shinji Mikami, the creator of Resident Evil.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
definitely a senior guy.
Up there.
Yeah. Maybe the creator. I can't remember.
Yeah, and then Alpha Dog Games, they did Mobile Doom. Matt Booty sent an email detailing that they we are prioritizing the titles and resources, and their focus is to make high impact games. Obviously, big blow. I feel like every week we talk about some sort of layoff, studio closure, or something like that. So this is one of the reasons we haven't really had a lot of good news to do a podcast, because it's mostly just layoffs and studio closures. But this one kind of, I think it kind of made a bigger uproar in the community, just because Arcane Austin, great studio, great track record. Redfall definitely did not meet expectations. It was kind of a dud out of release, as much as Suicide Squad has been a dud out of release. So it might suffer the same fate. But that, shit happens. You're a good studio. Sometimes you can have a bad game. Tango Gameworks, Hi-Fi Rush, even though it wasn't, you would say, a big blockbuster, high-scale game, it did get a lot of awards recognition. A lot of people enjoyed the game. Good quality. It was rated very high on Metacritic. And obviously, this is why Microsoft bought Bethesda, so they could acquire the studios. They need high-quality games. And they did release a high-quality game, but then they closed the studio. So a lot of people were really, really upset about that, especially because the president of Xbox Games kind of went on a panel and said that their outlook is that they want these high-quality games to make high-impact games. Well, it's like, you had studios that make high-impact games and you close them down, so what's the point?
The only high-impact game in the last several years.
Yeah, so far. And then you have Senua's Sacrifice Hellblade 2 coming out this week, which, one, what the fuck? I didn't even realize it was coming out. And two, what does that say about that? Because that game is definitely not for everybody. Every time we see a trailer, we're like, what the fuck is going on? I want to play this less and less. No offense to them. No offense to them.
I get, like, it's usually with trailers, I'm just like, oh, whatever. Like, that's like, I'm either I'll be excited or it's not for me. But like this, there's something about these trailers. I'm just like, this is dumbest fucking trailer that it like ever. It's like a marketing nightmare.
Yeah. So
and of course, like they've done nothing to address that at all. Like it continues to be like just a marketing disaster of like, what is this game? Why should people play it? I'm assuming very few people played the first one. Even though I think it had like a good amount of critical acclaim. But,
it was rated very high.
Maybe it got some good numbers on Game Pass when Game Pass first came out, just because it was like probably on the first or second shelf in the store. But I find it hard that many people played it. So yeah, I think that there's a lot of memes and speculation about how long until Microsoft shuts down Ninja Theory.
Yeah, and their big thing is now that their focus is high impact games, but what they mean by impact is like impact the wallet. They need these games to sell, because obviously the critical acclaim is not helping. With all these studios, you have something like this game coming out, not a lot of marketing. It does look good, and obviously going from the first one that got highly rated on scores. This one's probably going to get highly rated as well, but it's probably not going to sell too much because this isn't what people are looking. They're shifting their focus, obviously, just having acquired Activision Blizzard. You definitely know their focus is going to be Call of Duty, but you want kind of, I don't want to say too much of this, but you kind of want what Sony has, which is that big first-party studio, high-quality games. But you don't let the studios kind of flourish in that sense, especially if the game's well received but it doesn't sell well. So that's kind of, anti. It's bad. I forgot the. Damn it! I'm forgetting all the words, man.
It's bad.
It's bad. It's bad.
No, I think increasingly it's clear that Microsoft bought Activision for Call of Duty, and Microsoft bought Bethesda for Elder Scrolls and Fallout.
Not Starfield, which
definitely not Starfield.
Yeah, which didn't do much.
Yeah. So.
And also that pushes into the Game Pass talk, because you've been saying this for a while. You canceled your Game Pass subscription like a year ago or something, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Or
it was like 6 months maybe.
Yeah,
I think it was. Yeah, it was like right after Starfield.
Yeah,
it was so bad I immediately canceled.
You had it for Starfield because you wanted to test it out, but anything besides that, like there has been nothing on there. They're obviously pushing their exclusives on Game Pass. There have been rumors. They don't know if they're going to offer the next Call of Duty, obviously it being such a big seller, if they're going to offer it on Game Pass or if they're not. But their Game Pass isn't doing so well. The studio closures don't really bode well. It kind of goes a lot to say what their focus is going to be this year. And like I was saying earlier, I felt like this year, with some titles that we were hearing about, was going to be another good year for video games. But obviously with the layoffs and now this kind of blank canvas of the major publishers, Sony and Microsoft, we don't know what their whole idea is for the future, kind of thing. Like there's a lot of restructuring, a lot of things going on. Doesn't bode well. I think Nintendo's the only one that's kind of like okay, because they're not over promising anything, and the Switch 2 is coming next year, so they'll be happy. New Super Mario, new Zelda, or whatever. That's fine.
I think I've been, from like a fan perspective, I've been giving Nintendo a lot of shit just because I want to see what's next for them. But I feel like they might have been playing like
the long game,
40 chess or whatever the fuck that term is, where it's like we're just gonna let our competition shoot themselves in the foot and then just come in and with a bunch of insane shit and just clean up.
Yeah, and I read or I saw this tweet or something that Nintendo's like not worried about the graphical stuff, and that wasn't their big thing. Their thing is just push games, and they have push games. not to your liking, I would say, not to your graphic, not what you want. But every now and then something will sneak in where you're like, oh, maybe I will buy that. It's been a while, but I feel like when the Switch 2 comes out, you're gonna be eating your words, Nintendo hater. No, Nintendo hater, Nick. That's a mouthful.
I'm not a Nintendo hater, dude.
All right, yeah, I know you're not, but I like to say it. I like to say it.
Why are you so toxic?
I'm not. I'm the opposite of toxic. What's the opposite of toxic?
No.
Radiation positive. But yeah, Microsoft needs to get their shit together. Come up with a clear plan. That's what I'm telling you. I'm speaking directly to you, Microsoft. Get your shit together.
Yeah. I can't name like one game that I'm excited about from however many studios are left under their portfolio.
Yeah, and it's sad because they do have high quality studios, which is a thing, but the business side of it has definitely gotten pushed. These rising costs of game development is not helping. The industry pushing for live service games also not helping.
I think so. I think we kind of just stopped talking about it after a while, but we used to talk about the Activision deal.
That was one of our first episodes too. So.
And I just thought it was like such like a dumb, like it just made no sense to me to do that. And I think the Activision deal is basically putting such a huge amount of pressure and like crosshairs on the Xbox business. So it's like, so I feel like that leadership team kind of basically like set themselves up for failure by doing this Activision acquisition. Like they would have been way better off just like not doing it.
Oh, definitely.
There's literally no like for fucking Call of Duty like it's just one game.
Thing. Yeah, it's
one game. Yeah, and like the amount of like mental energy of the leadership team, not just Xbox but Microsoft overall, like trying to get the deal through, like just what a nightmare of an acquisition.
Also, and the big thing about this is, which I might sound old as fuck with this, but I feel like Call of Duty is past its time. Like that hype that there was for those 10 years or whatever it was, it's not there anymore. Like people still play it. I'm not gonna like. It's still one of the highest. It still
makes a ton of money. It still makes a ton of money. That's what all their due diligence was focused on, was the money. But I do think there's, I think fatigue is starting to impact that franchise. Maybe under new leadership they can kind of correct that a bit. Just doing like annual releases of that game just like literally makes no sense. I think the other thing is like the King acquisition. So King is part of Activision Blizzard. That's the mobile gaming business. Like the people who play those games are gonna die. Like soon, like it's like fucking match 3. It's like
way to be morbid.
The demographic of people who play those games is old and aging out. So I feel like this is like down the road, for sure. But that's like one thing I think about. It's just like I don't like mobile gaming isn't going to go anywhere, but I do wonder if like the types of mobile games, like if that actually changes in some way where it's not people playing match 3. It's like something a little bit more sophisticated than that, which King is not. So I just that whole acquisition was it's like way overvalued, way too complicated. Now puts so much pressure on them to deliver results. So I think that might have been the kind of ironically, this big acquisition might have been the final nail in the coffin for the current leadership team.
Yeah, video games are a bit about trend. Obviously, when Call of Duty was such a big hit, a lot of games tried to emulate that. Then you had Skyrim, then you had Fortnite, and now they're trying to capture that big live service game boom. And then in a couple of years, it'll be something else. So it does feel like Microsoft kind of bought the farm a little bit too late. after farming season, whatever that means.
Farmville?
Yeah, but the farm bill too late.
No, that's Zynga, right?
After all the, I don't know. I don't play mobile games. They're stupid.
Yeah, they're pretty stupid.
Yeah. All right, but those are our thoughts for the news of the week. We're gonna move on to some closing thoughts that we have. And I know it's been a while, but we did. Well, I did finish the Fallout show. You finished the Fallout show as well, right?
Yeah, it's great.
Really enjoyed it. Obviously, with how good production value has been for a lot of video game adaptations lately, that they've been recognized more and more. Obviously, the material has been better, the acting has been better, the quality has been better. I wasn't expecting this to be too much, especially myself. I think I just played Fallout 3 and it wasn't kind of my thing. I felt like it was just Skyrim again, but with technology or something. But I do like the lore of it, and I thought the show was really well done. The actors were really well. Obviously, we're big Walter Goggins fans over here, you know, from Justified, from Righteous Gemstones, from Vice Principals. Such a great actor. And the show itself, I thought was really good. I know Christopher Nolan's brother, Jonathan Nolan? Yeah, Jonathan Nolan. He was a producer on the show, so he's a big fan of the games. So they did really well. I think the lore and everything was really good. I liked the way it looked. The humor in there was really good as well. So definitely one of my favorite video game adaptations that I've seen in a while, especially after The Last of Us. Your thoughts on Fallout TV show?
Loved it. Yeah, I think it was. I don't know how to describe it, because I think I made a prior comment about it's really good, but not at the same level as like maybe The Last of Us. But like, I don't know if that's like a fair. They're just very different. They're just like so different. I do think there was some kind of like weaknesses to the Fallout show, but I was able to. Like, I didn't love all the characters.
Yeah, that was really that was one unique thing about it, where it focused on 3 main characters, and
Yeah.
I forget the guy's name, but I think the guy who was the robot,
Maximus.
Yeah, Maximus. He was kind of the weakest link, but towards the end, I felt like he got better.
Yeah. Sorry, my dog's going nuts, so I might need to
Well,
keep this brief. But
yeah, we're almost wrapping it up.
okay, cool. But it was overall really enjoyed it. Looking forward to season 2. I think Amazon's got another. It's pretty impressive how Amazon, broadly speaking, is creating some of like my favorite shows. There's The Boys, Gen V. I feel like I'm missing one, but
Invincible? You watch Invincible? I don't.
No, I haven't watched that, but yeah. I liked it. I want some more of it, and it's such a good.
2 billion. How much did they spend on Lord of the Rings? $1 billion? 2 billion? Whatever it was.
Oh yeah. To make a Gollum show. Is that it? Is that your closing thoughts?
Well, the other one was we watched some New York Knickerbockers basketball. Shout out to the Knicks. I love when the Knicks. I'm in basketball, I'm not a big team fan. Obviously, I live in New York City, so I always support my New York teams. But it's always good to see when the Knicks are winning, because the city just gets super electric. Everybody's really hyped. We went to a bar with Mitch, aka Brooklyn Dad, and watched Game 2, which was amazing. Loved the hustle from the team. My thoughts in the broader sense of the playoffs. If anybody wants to know, you can find me on Discord. But super excited that the team is doing well, that the city's really happy about it, and I'm excited for the future of New York Knickerbocker basketball. I was going to say baseball for some reason. Yeah, the New York Knickerbockers. And I'm getting a hoodie, which is not hoodie season, but I want this.
You've been talking about this hoodie a lot.
It's sold out, man. It's sold out. But as soon as I get it, I will debut it here. So.
Okay.
You got anything besides Fallout? Besides piggybacking on my shit? I know you've been playing more games than I have. That's the other thing.
Jesus Christ! Why are you so hot? You're so toxic.
Stop saying that.
If you're gonna call me a Nintendo hater, I'm gonna call you toxic.
Okay, all right.
The difference being, I'm not a Nintendo hater, but you are toxic. So, yeah. I beat Rebirth.
Oh shit! Damn.
So yeah, so that I don't like my play. I think I've talked about this before, but like my play times are just like so insane because I just get distracted every 10 minutes and need to be like AFK for extended periods of time. But
Without the
I'm gonna
AFK,
get. I'm gonna get.
how much time would you say you did put in?
I think it was probably 70 hours.
Wow.
And like that was me kind of accepting the reality of not being able to play as much as I would like. So I was kind of like not like rushing through it, but I wasn't doing it. I wasn't taking my time either.
You weren't like doing all the side quests and all the extra stuff.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Like I was like very selective with side quests and all that. So, but yeah, it was a couple gripes with it. Like some of the party, like forced party selection stuff, like was kind of like because I want to play with the party that I'm like spending all my time strategizing about, but for story reasons, like there's certain situations where they like lock your party to one in between 1 and 3 characters, and I'm just like, okay, like I got to play with these characters I don't want to play as. And there's one specific like Kate Sith section where you only play as Kate Sith, and it's just like it's awful.
I don't really hate Final Fantasy VII characters, but I feel like Kate Sith would be up there. Like, I don't want to play as Kate Sith.
Yeah, everyone hates them. Yeah. So a couple things in there, but overall, like it was an incredible game. It's kind of funny how it's a trilogy that they made this into. At the end of each game, you're fighting Sephiroth, which sounds kind of boring. But it's like so fucking hype, dude. Like it's like
Sephiroth.
It's like yeah. It's like it's funny how it's like
arguably one of the greatest video game villains. How real quick, how hyped are you or excited for it to finish? Like for the third one?
Oh, extremely.
Oh, okay. All right.
Did, but I feel like I'm maybe not like foaming at the mouth because I know there's so much more game I can go back into, and there's probably like another 30 to 40 hours of stuff if I want to. So I still feel like the game is with me. It's going to be 3 years before, at least 3 years before we see the third part, but so I can wait. But I'm definitely like I'm pumped for it. I'm curious how there was it was like a substantial change in remake versus rebirth in terms of like it's a little it's more, I guess, call it open world, and it's much more expansive. Way more characters, a lot more mini games, which is a source of not everyone loves the mini games, but me, I'm all about it.
You love that shit.
But yeah, I kind of feel like they'll stick with the same formula as Rebirth, and it's just going to be, finishing the game, which I'm totally happy with.
And you'll be able to play with Vincent.
Yeah, should be able to play with Vincent's cool, man.
He's always been the coolest.
He's cool. Yeah, they got Matt Mercer as Vincent. He does Ganondorf in the Zelda games.
Somebody said I should become a voice actor. I was like, no.
Who? For like a Ray Romano?
No, it was somebody on Discord. Okay. I was like, no. But yeah, maybe Ray Romano's. I'll do all the
I think
all the Ice Age television stuff. Get paid on that.
I think you have hints of Chris Rock in you as well, which I know you don't agree with, but
I can't hear.
It's there sometimes. It's there sometimes.
I can't hear it. You know how it is. You don't hear your own voice. You hate your own voice, kind of thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm wrapping up because the dog's going absolutely fucking insane.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. Thanks for joining us. Episode 99 in the books. We are back. Don't forget to join us our next episode, episode 100. We will be having the Destiny free giveaway. Join us. Thank you guys. Don't forget to go to our website, pressingbuttons.gg, where you can get access to our Discord link, our YouTube channel, our Twitter, whatever social media stuff we have on. And thanks again for joining us. I'm Hugo. Bye.
I'm Nick later.
All right, that's it. I know you got to leave because Louis been fucking insane for the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's tough, dude. Like we just have nowhere to put dogs, so I'm gonna drop off.
All right, we're back. Bye.
Bye bye.